Technology is part of our culture today. In this presentation, we are going to look at 3 technology tools that can be used in the classroom to enhance learning experiences. The first tool we'll explore is the smartphone. A smartphone is a digital device that can make and receive phone calls, but also has added capabilities, including, but not limited to, email services, internet browsing, and downloading applications. They use operating systems and are generally touchscreen. They're like handheld computers. The smartphone became incredibly popular because of its versatility. It's a handheld computer, all right, but it's also a camera, a video camera, a music player, and so on. With the correct application, they can be almost anything you want them to be. So inevitably, a learning tool is on the list. Young children see them being used on a regular basis. They observe the people in their lives using them. Their parents, loved ones, older siblings. Many parents also let them use theirs to watch videos or play games. Some children even have their own, with access to lots of applications and web content. They can be used in the classroom to enhance learning. Small handheld smartphones have the capability to take pictures and record video, both of which are things that young students can do to share what they're doing in the classroom through creating narratives regarding their learning. Images and video can give students a purpose for telling and writing a story. Creating narratives and reflecting on the experiences they have help the students to make meaning from their experiences. In my classroom this past year, we used our classroom smartphone to take pictures of signs of spring and then wrote poems about spring. Students used the phone to take pictures, edit their photos, and send them to their computer. The class collaborated to create a spring poetry book. In this activity, they learned about poetry, applied their knowledge of rhyme, became authors, and collaborated. Students met literacy and science goals with this activity, as well as developed and demonstrated technology skill. Smartphones also have access to a multitude of applications that can range from interactive ebooks to skill-specific learning apps. And lots of apps are also geared simply towards entertainment. Play is a big part of early childhood education, but simply sitting playing games on a smartphone wouldn't be an effective use of technology in the classroom or developmentally appropriate for the children. Their play needs to be active. Smartphones are great. They're portable, they can be used in the classroom, outside on the playground, and even taken on field trips. They can be used to document real-life learning. And some children may even have their own, but allowing them to use their own could create issues, like one being an access issue, as not all students will have their own. And also, cellular network may not offer the safety that our schools' networks do. The next tool we'll look at is the personal computer. A personal computer stores, sends, receives, and processes information. What does that mean for us? It means it allows us to use computers to create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and videos, as well as browse the web, play music, and watch videos, and even play games. Computers have become a huge part of our culture, and they are used to some capacity in nearly all fields of work. So learning to use this piece of technology is a necessary 21st century skill. Over the years, access to computers has improved. They've become more accessible in homes, libraries, and schools. Young children use computers to create art, make music. They use them to tell and record stories and hear their stories read back to them. They also use them to play educational games and sometimes connect what they're learning on screen to off-screen learning. When teachers carefully plan how to use the computer, children can explore new opportunities. Students can build their early literacy skills by using the computer to tell stories. Students can use drawing applications to draw a picture, and then teachers and peers can ask them questions about the picture, encouraging them to tell the story. On higher ends of their early childhood education, students can also write about the story that they tell. They can use the picture that they created or a series of pictures they draw on the computer and write a story that goes with them. They could also use the computer to create something they want to use in another learning area, such as making a character for a puppet show. The computer itself is not the activity. Creating their stories and characters is. They simply use this tool to meet their literacy goals. Computers should not be used simply to view content in early ages. Therefore, using computers to watch a movie would not be a developmentally appropriate use. It may be easy, fun to do, and even relate to the content that you're learning about, but students should be interacting with the media they are using in early elementary classroom, not simply viewing it. Using computers in the classroom provides another tool for students to create. They provide access to all kinds of educational software, much of it that is aligned with national standards, where students can explore and learn skills. They are becoming more accessible, but are still an expense that many school budgets struggle with. Educators also need to have professional development to be comfortable using them in the classroom and knowing how and where to find the educational software that works for their children. Finally, let's talk about interactive whiteboards. An interactive whiteboard is a large interactive display. They can be large touchscreen computers or a connected device such as a large touchpad or a projector and whiteboard that interacts with the computer. The computer activity or image is displayed on the screen. Through the use of our fingers or special pens, you can manipulate the elements on the computer's display. Interactive whiteboards are finding their way to classrooms. They create an opportunity for the whole class to interact with a single computer activity. Students and teachers can manipulate the activity without sitting in front of a computer, but rather by touching or using the pen on the whiteboard where the whole class can see. Young children can use interactive whiteboards to do an interact with the lesson. Instead of one doer and one viewer at a single computer station, you may have multiple doers, depending on your whiteboard technology, and lots of viewers, creating great opportunities for collaboration. The interactive whiteboard can be used with young children to enhance their math skills. Through an interactive calendar, young children, such as kindergartners, can complete multiple daily routines when they arrive at school in the morning that meet their mathematic goals. For instance, an interactive whiteboard screen can have an attendance box where students use their fingers or a pen to drag their name to the box when they arrive in the morning. And later they may count how many friends are in school. They can count the attendance box to find out how many students are present and count the students that aren't in the box to see how many friends are absent. They also could create an interactive weather graph, keeping track of the weather for the month. Here, they connect the real world by looking out the window or remembering what it felt like when they came in, and interacting with the technology by adding the weather to their weather graph. They can use their graph to talk about the data and talk about their math goals. On the interactive whiteboard, young children can interact with digital manipulatives and share their learning with the class. Interactive whiteboards, unfortunately, are often simply used as a projector. Teachers show a video or display a visual for the students. This is an underuse of the technology. And with young learners, it's not developmentally appropriate. Young students should be interacting with the technology, not simply viewing it. Interactive whiteboards offer lots of opportunities for students to interact with content. The whiteboard alone is engaging for students, but being able to interact and move things and draw and write in a reproducible fashion adds another layer of excitement. A drawback to the technology is certainly the expense. They are costly and school budgets are already tight. Another struggle is that in order to have the interesting content for the students to interact with, teachers need to create or find the activities. This requires that teachers have a solid understanding of how to use the equipment. Simply having technology doesn't make us experts at it. Each of the tools that we've looked at, I think, can be great tools to use in the classroom. A theme that you'll notice is that the tools are interactive. The students have to interact with them. They create and collaborate. They use the tools to make meaning of the material and to demonstrate what they've learned. They're able to use them to connect to the real world.